Hila, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk with me today in relation to the work that you have done at SSAI and also the work that you have done with the recent solar eclipse that happened last week on Monday, April 8th. So I had a couple questions that I wanted to ask you based on your work at SSAI. My first question is, what drew you to SSAI and how does the company's mission resonate with you personally?
Um, I would say the that thing that drew me is the connection to NASA. Caught my eye when I was applying for jobs, of course. But then as I looked deeper, SSAI's commitment to advancing Earth science. And I think they do that by starting with the people first that they hire. Since I've been here, I've noticed a pretty diverse field of employees that are all passionate about our Earth and improving our Earth. And I think that makes the work we do here better, that they kind of find these passionate people. Um, and when I joined, it felt like I was joining a team rather than like a race or a competition, um, if that makes sense. Yeah, definitely a team environment and a comfortable environment to work in.
Uh, Absolutely. That's very well said. I could not agree with you more. And something that I noticed, Michala, was as soon as I joined as an intern at first, but then promoted to full-time a couple months ago, was that not only are we making a global impact, but there's a family feel. There's a big
Mhm.
sense of community as well, where you get to know your managers and you also get to know the company executives as well, and that to me definitely makes all the difference. And that's what helps to make the company very well rounded.
Mhm.
Um, but that's very well said. So I appreciate you sharing your thoughts in relation to that question. And my second question I wanted to ask you was, what factors have contributed to your decision to work at SSAI? And how does the company support your professional growth and development?
Yeah, at my job here, we're always encouraged to attend conferences. So I like that they encourage us to travel and to like even a few times a year to advance our career. And one thing that happened while I started working here was, I guess, COVID. And I thought that their protocols and actions responding to COVID were pretty responsible and kind of like listening to the workers that, remote work really does work well for a lot of us and willing to, allow that to happen. I guess like their willingness to evolve and better the company and its relation with the employees. And then every time I interact with anybody that works for SSAI, they're always super nice. I've never had really a bad experience working with anybody, from my like coworkers to people that help with like payroll or travel documents and stuff like that. And I guess going back to the hiring practices, I guess their like recruitment of diverse people is very important. And I've noticed that like STEM, it's best when everyone's involved and we have a better chance at answering issues about our Earth if we have diverse perspectives and diverse teams. So, and that's encouraged me to stay here and enjoy working here. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts in terms of how SSAI has supported your professional growth and development. I know you mentioned during COVID, which was, very challenging and very stressful for everybody over these last couple of years. I think COVID really opened our eyes to, innovation, despite, how bad it was and how stressful it was with the lockdowns and then also the deaths as well. The positive side that I looked at it was that it really taught us to slow down. It really taught us to be innovative and creative. And that is especially what SSAI is doing. And like what you said, in terms of bringing a diverse workforce into the field, we are definitely encouraging anybody, especially in the younger generations, that there are opportunities for you out there. This this career is not just a male-dominated profession, it is also a female-dominated profession. And again, if you are interested in space exploration, I know I want to be an astronaut one day myself.
Mhm.
It's not just a male-dominated profession. It is and should be as well a female-dominated profession. And since we have Dr. Shilpa Bahiti, our CEO, imagine how a lot of our girls and the younger generations are going to feel with seeing Shilpa and how they're going to get inspired by the work that she has done. So that's definitely going to make all the difference. So those are just my personal thoughts in relation to that. And speaking of the eclipse, one of my other questions I wanted to ask you was, you worked with creating the 2023-2024 Solar Eclipses Map, and that sounds like an incredibly intricate task. Can you walk us through the process of designing such a map like that, and what were some of the key challenges you faced, and how did you ensure accuracy and accessibility for both researchers and the public with it?
Yeah, it was such an honor to be able to work on that map or make the whole thing myself, with the help of input from my team. But yeah, I basically worked with the eclipse data that my coworker at the SVS, our past coworker, Ernie Wright, he actually calculated it and turned it into a spatial data set that I could open up in a mapping software. And in a mapping software, I'll reorganize the data as I need, like clean it up a little bit, use pieces that are important to the map. And I try to use as much data as comfortably fit on the map to try to allow, because since it was supposed to be a poster, I wanted people to look at it and get the main idea, but to be able to explore the map in depth by looking at some of the smaller details that don't jump out right away. And related to that, I do that by taking that spatial data from a mapping software and bring it into a design software like Illustrator. And that's where I do the long, tedious work. What took the most amount of work was balancing the information on the map using design principles, like bringing the most important things to focus and letting some of the other information that's not as important, not grab your attention or be as bright and bold as some of the other elements on the map. And some of the challenges I faced designing it, I guess the first challenge was the map was to have two eclipse paths on it that cross. And that's a lot of data. So even just one eclipse has a lot of data, but now they're asking me to design a poster that has both sets of data and all of those converging and crossing lines, and just spending a lot of time thinking about how I want to organize it. And I guess just to hit on the last point, my goals for the map were to be a source of information for people seeking information about the eclipse. And then obviously just the basic awareness that the eclipse is happening and where it's happening at. But also I wanted it to, be beautiful, and through design, I tried to achieve that so that people would want to spend time looking at it. And I did have to look at it a lot over the past year and a half, pretty much, seeing it all over the internet. And so yeah, I wanted it to be engaging and have lots of information, but not overwhelming. And that touches back to the design principles that I spent a lot of time on, balancing all of that data to kind of tell a story and not just like blurt all the information out at once. I didn't think it would be this like big of a deal when I started the project. Yeah, but I'm glad what it turned out to. I had pretty much all positive experiences working on it and afterwards and stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's absolutely wonderful. I really appreciate, Michala, your in-depth analysis in terms of how you worked with building or creating that map and, explaining some of the challenges that were involved with it. It's absolutely incredible. And I like how you said that you wanted the audience to be able to see a story. And I really like that because, you weren't just throwing out all this information like, here you go.
Mhm.
What you were trying to do was you were trying to tell a story so that way everybody could see the impact, but also be engaged with the material that was being presented because, there was so much data that was
Mhm.
coming through.
Yeah.
That is definitely, very admirable. And in relation to the impact that the map had, I just wanted to ask you real quick in relation to it. There have been more than 10 million people across the United States who have viewed this map, and close to, I believe it was like 20 million on like the day of the eclipse itself. So by seeing all of these people all across, the United States being able to see the map, how does that make you feel in relation to knowing that you made an impact on that many people?
I don't know how, it's just surprising when I see it, or like I know when people Google the eclipse that my image and map is what pops up most of the time. Um, I don't know how to really grapple with that, but I'm glad that I liked making the map and I tried to do my best. Um, I guess it's like a responsibility to share that information and do so in a way. And I try to go about it in a way that I would want if I was a reader on the other side. Basically, I don't know how it makes me feel, but I'm glad that people like the map. And yeah, I think I did okay job. Yeah, making it.
That's that's fantastic. Well, I think, all of us at SSAI, we congratulate you on the incredible work that you did with it. And we look forward to seeing the continued data that comes with that. And even for the next eclipse, which I know is not going to happen again in the United States until 2044, we're looking forward to seeing reporting with that. So we'll definitely have to follow back up again. I can't wait for that. So, Michala, I just wanted to thank you so much again for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk with me today. You are truly a rock star SSAI employee who is really making an impact and a difference globally. And everybody is very fascinated and will continue to be fascinated with the great work that you are doing. So we are very excited to see the continued data that we get from this eclipse. Again, it was a phenomenal event. Please definitely keep me in the loop in terms of what additional data you come up with. And I look forward to following up with you again in 2044. It'll be
Yeah,
here before you know it.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reaching out and having me do this and highlighting the work that SSI employees do.